hello. Hello, everyone. Welcome. This is Roland, and today I want to talk about my book, Putting the Forever Back in Love. This is my book, Putting the Forever Back in Love. If you've been married or been in a relationship for several years, and especially if you have kids, this is the book for you. Now, the reason it's such a good book is because you're not likely to get this information anywhere else. See, there's something going on between men and women. It goes all the way back to the Garden of Eden. Adam failed. Okay, he was a big failure. He failed Eve. And they got booted out of paradise and suffered. Now look at you. Now you men look at yourselves, and you ladies look at the men around you. They failed. Your father undoubtedly failed you. He wasn't there for you. Other men, what? They took advantage. Instead of having love, they took advantage. And you got married, and maybe your husband is a decent fellow. Goes to work. He's not violent. He doesn't take drugs. Basically a good guy. But he's still failing you somehow. Something is missing. Okay? You think it's romance or maybe talking more or little, things like that. But actually it goes deeper. It's simpler than that. He needs to have a special quality that comes from, well, actually it comes from God. But it comes from within. Let's put it that way. If you don't want to talk about God, let's just say he needs something special that comes from within. It's like a fatherly love, an agape love, emotionless love. I remember one time I had a teacher. She was an English teacher, and she was very strict. I was like 13 years old at the time, I think. 12 or 13. She was very, very strict. No nonsense. And from the beginning it was like, Roland, I'm not going to accept any excuses. You have the ability and you're going to do well. And she was very strict. No pandering, no condescending, no trying to be nice. See? Strict. And guess what? I did well, and I liked her. One of the best teachers I ever have. Why? Because she had something called tough love. Okay? Tough love. Well, that's kind of what we all need. We all need correction. We need correction. Correction from our naughtiness, our confusion. See, our rebelliousness, our anger. So if you had a man who had that mysterious, otherworldly quality, and you could respect that, and come to love that perhaps one day, then that would be the correction for your naughtiness. Now we can all self-correct. You don't have to have a good husband around or a good father, but it really helps. It helps to have a good father. It makes it so much easier. But if you don't, then you can self-correct. You can find God, you can find the Father within. Okay? But in order to find the Father within, you have to forgive your earthly husband and forgive your father. Because, and this is a hard teaching, but if you don't forgive the Father you can see, you won't receive the love of the Father you cannot see. How many times did Christ say, forgive other people? or your Heavenly Father won't forgive you. You have to forgive first. Now, what does forgiveness mean? What does that mean? This is very important. So take note very carefully. You may not hear this anywhere else, so don't miss it. Forgiveness means dropping resentment, dropping judgment. You know how men are so judgeable? When you judge men, see, you can almost puff up with a superior kind of a hate. You feel superior to them. Men, like kids, they're like kids, spoiled kids, they're like boys, silly boys, or they're like animals. You can judge them. See? But that judgment does two things. Number one, it robs you of your sweetness and your innocence. But worse yet, it robs you of finding the Father. Okay? So forgiveness means letting go of judgment, letting go of resentment. That's what it means. It does. So suppose your husband is doing some bad things or did some bad things, or suppose your father was rotten, okay, and did bad things, okay. It doesn't mean you have to pretend nothing happened. It doesn't mean you have to pretend you don't see what it is. It doesn't mean you have to like the person even. It just means, excuse me, it just means it doesn't mean you have to like the person even. It doesn't mean you have to have anything to do with them. For example, let's say you had a relative or a parent who did something bad to you. You go to the parent after many years and you've forgiven them. Okay? Then you say, hey, when I was a kid you did this and this and this to me, and I hated you for it. I don't hate you anymore. I just want to see that you were wrong and be sorry and apologize. Okay? And at that point, the person who did whatever they did to you, chances are they'll say, hey, I didn't do anything. They'll deny it. But they might admit they did it and be sorry, and then you can be friends. But if they deny it and they remain unrepentant and they refuse to apologize, then you can shake the dust from your shoes and have nothing to do with them ever again. Okay? You forgive by not hating. You forgive by not resenting. You forgive by not judging. But you still see what they did. See? If somebody steals my bicycle, I don't hate them. I don't judge them. I don't resent them. I make them give me my bicycle back, and maybe I go to the police too. See? But I don't hate them. See? See how that works? See the difference? I remove the pinch of judgment, the pinch of resentment. So when it comes to your husband now, you must forgive your husband for failing you. In other words, don't hate him. And if he's a halfway decent guy, then you're very lucky. If he's halfway decent, then just start observing how much you judge him. Okay? Give him some space. Notice how you disapprove of everything that he does. See what I mean? See that. Give him a little space. There may be a man in there. See, he may still become the noble knight in shining armor that you would like him to be. Okay? All right. And you men, you simply must realize that you are the captain of the ship. You mustn't look to your wife for support or to anyone. You must look to your Creator for support. See? And if other people are unreasonable, if your wife is unreasonable, then you have to be even more, all the more reasonable. If your wife is naughty, then you must be all the more impeccably honorable. If your wife isn't so good with the kids, she's impatient or what have you, then you must have patience. See? Begin to look at other people more as if they were naughty kids. Okay? It's time to grow up and to become that noble knight in shining armor, the George Washington of your family. See? And they will respect you for that. So you can't be a people pleaser. See? People pleasers are weak. You have to find a way to speak up about things. See, and to be firm, even stern, but without anger. See, anger is not necessary. Just a deep conviction. You know what's right, okay? You don't have to be angry. Anger spoils it. So let go of anger. Let go of resentment. Don't resent your wife. See, that's a form of use too. If you first you used your wife, you wanted her to support your ego. See? And then later when she gave you a hard time, then what? Then you resented her. But resentment is a form of use. Okay? She needs you to be fatherly. She needs you to be patient. Okay? All right. So, you see, there's a lot in this book. I talk about, if you know, like I said, if um, I can't forgive my husband, that's a chapter in here. I show you how. My husband doesn't listen to me, or it's another chapter. My wife argues with me all the time. That's a chapter. A lot of good chapters in here. Okay. So I would like you to get this book. Okay, it's on Amazon. You can get it in Kindle or in paperback. It's a handsome paperback book. You can get one for yourself and one for your spouse. You can both read it. It's a good read. It's very it's fun. It's a fun book to read. You might see what happened to your parents too. Sometimes you wonder what happened to my parents' marriage or my friend's marriage. This will explain it. Okay. So get the book. It's also available if you go to commonsensecounseling.org. You'll see there a link where you can preview the book, and then you can get. I'll send you a PDF of the book for a donation of any amount. Yesterday, a guy ordered The Myths and Mysteries of Marriage. He sent me it was $2. It's by PayPal. See, just click on the button. It's through PayPal. All he could afford was $2. That's fine. So $2, that helps me. Helps me pay for the airtime and the internet time and all the other expenses I have because I am a volunteer, you know. So $2. You see what I mean? So for a small donation, you can get the book. So get the book. My name is Roland.